This show is powered by BL3P, the Lightning-enabled European Bitcoin exchange.
Connect the build.
Anita Posch, Bitcoin for Fairness, nomad from Austria.
Thelma and Louise is an American road film directed by Ridley Scott and written by Kelly Currie. The movie stars Gina Davis as Thelma and Susan Sarandon as Louise, two friends who embark on a road trip that takes a drastic turn towards the unexpected. Did this movie inspire you to go on your global Bitcoin road trip?
Yes.
Have you ever stayed in one place for more than 6 months since becoming a nomad?
No.
Was the pizza you ate this weekend at the food hall in Arnhem the best Bitcoin pizza so far?
Absolutely. Yes.
We need more women in Bitcoin.
Yes.
Is non-alcoholic beer your drink of choice even at parties?
Yes.
Have you had any memorable encounters with wildlife during your travels to promote Bitcoin?
Yes.
Gus Gus is an electronic band from Reykjavik, Iceland, known for their eclectic blend of techno, house and trip-hop music. The group originally started as a film and acting collective in the mid-1990s before transitioning fully into music. Gus Gus has released several albums over the years. Is Gus Gus part of your playlist while you practice your favorite cycling workout?
Yes.
Do you believe that Bitcoin self-custody is the most critical aspect of financial freedom?
Yes.
Peach dumplings are a delightful and comforting dessert, often enjoyed in various forms across different cultures. Typically, they consist of fresh or canned peaches wrapped in a pastry dough, then baked until golden and tender. We were told this is your favorite food. Have you ever eaten more than 5 peach dumplings in one sitting?
Yes.
Are you Satoshi Nakamoto?
No.
Welcome to the Connected World Weekly Podcast. I'm Edward.
And I'm Steph. We are ready to take you with us into the beautiful world of the Lightning Network.
Enjoy the ride. This is episode 112 of Connected World, and this show is made possible by our friends from BL3P, the European Bitcoin exchange in the Netherlands. And thank you guys for helping us out with our mission, and of course to connect all our listeners and everybody who follows Connected World with Bitcoin through the Lightning Network. And if you also have any questions at all, then head over to our Telegram groups. You can ask us anything, and of course you can subscribe at our YouTube. And of course, on every other social platform.
Conecta el mundo.
Welcome, Anita. Good to have you on the show.
Good to have you.
Yeah, hi, finally. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, no problem.
Of course. And this time from the Netherlands, right, Anita?
Exactly. I'm in the Netherlands, so I guess it's not too far from you.
No, that's right.
No, I was there also, Anita, in Arnhem this weekend, and I'm still buzzing. It was such a nicely warm, organized conference. I've been to a couple of conferences, mostly a bit bigger than this one, but I think it was so nice. The atmosphere was great. The venue was also great. And I don't know, what was your experience of adopting Bitcoin Arnhem, Anita?
Yeah, I feel the same. So, and it's a concert hall basically, where you have punk and rock concerts, and I like that very much. and also I think Patrick and Ramon did a great job for the lineup. So I have never been to a Bitcoin conference where there were so many women on stage giving talks and on panels. And I congratulated Patrick on that. And he said, yes, but actually I didn't really look especially for a lot of women. It was just, it just happened. And I said to him, yeah, but it seems you're following the right people in that sense, you know, because that's really something special. And I agree with you, Steph. It was very warm-hearted, only nice people, and a lot of information too.
Yeah, it was great, and yeah, I already told you that in the pre-talk that the talk you did was amazing, and I really liked it, and I can recommend to all the people who didn't were there to check out the live stream. I think it's also recorded and it's already available on the YouTube channel of Adopting Bitcoin Arnhem.
Yeah, it is.
So you can all watch it back if you want. And nice, because we also asked you, Anita, we need more women in Bitcoin. And you said yes, but we succeeded in Arnhem then.
Yeah, you're the first. You succeeded. But then in the audience, there were a little bit less women. I have to say.
Yeah. Okay. We need to work on that. But that's totally true. That's totally true.
Maybe this is the catalyst, right? This is the first, and then a lot of people will follow. And I think also people need to get interested in Bitcoin and lower the barrier to become interested. So perhaps more women tell the story, then that works.
I absolutely agree. I think this is basically the key, you know, like having more women talking about Bitcoin brings in more women doing or using Bitcoin.
I always think, and I don't understand it, but all those men there also have somebody next to them, right? Or women or other people that they know. If everybody talks to the people around them, then that also must help.
I also don't get it totally, to be honest. I once talked with young women in Vienna, and I was speaking about Bitcoin from the perspective of human rights and freedom, and how it can empower those who are disempowered. And she was like, wow, so actually that's the first time that I hear that. I always hear from my friend and his friends that they want to make a lot of money and they're trading, and I'm so put off by it. And I think Bitcoin is really a waste, you know, for that.
That's
thing.
the narrative.
But that's a good point you made there, Anita. And I also think that I mean, Bitcoin is so big, you know. There are so many different subjects within the Bitcoin network, and I mean, you can look from it from a trader perspective or talk about the price. We never talk about the price. We always talk. We're a Lightning focused podcast. We always talk about the Lightning network, but you have so many different things to talk about, and I think that people think that it's only that Bitcoin is only there or to make money, or to be a big nerd hacking on it and building stuff on it.
But that's interesting, Steph, because we also have a lot of women in the show who are very technical. I mean, El Mouton from L&D, Nifty, that's a great catalyst also for other people who are working in programming or something, and then they think, well, Lightning is also makes also low barrier for programmers in the normal world. To perhaps become interested in the fun of being techie with Lightning. So perhaps that also works.
I can recall this. I hope that we will drag more women into our world, Anita. So we are trying to do our utmost, and maybe the next edition of Adopting Bitcoin Arnhem, there will be some more women in the audience too. Let's hope for that. Hey, I ask you, have you had any memorable encounters with wildlife during your travels to promote Bitcoin? And you said yes, and I saw a twinkling in your eyes. So I think, I mean, did you have to fear for your life, or was it that bad? Or
no, I didn't have to fear for my life, but it was in February. I was in Namibia. To then meet in Windhoek with Okin. I think you had him on the show, did you?
Yeah, we had him in the show.
Yeah. And so we were driving from the Cape Town conference, Adopting Cape Town, in January. Then in February with a 4x4 to Windhoek. And on the way, we stopped in a little, very small village called Solitaire. And it was a camping site, and there was a footpath, and it also had signs, and it seemed to me it's a footpath that a lot of people are walking, and I was like, oh, okay, I go for a walk in the afternoon, and then I start walking, and after like 15 minutes I'm looking around, and it's the desert, and I turn around and I feel like it's weird in a little bit. I mean, And then I thought, okay, I think I better go back now because I'm not really sure which animals are here. And I turned around and I went back, and then I saw on the right-hand side, maybe 200 meters from me, a big animal looking a little bit like these animals in Sweden. How are they called? Elk. Elk.
Elk. Yeah.
So a big animal, dark black hair and a big head, and I was like, oh my god, I'm an Austrian, but I'm afraid of cows. So
no, really?
I don't like.
Really?
When I'm hiking and I need to pass cows, I'm always so scared because I don't know what. I mean, they can. They are so fast, actually.
No, you're right.
Heavy.
They're very big and strong. Strong. Yeah, that's right.
And they have killed people in Austria. It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay.
So anyhow, so seeing this animal, and I didn't even know what it is, and I was like, oh my god, because the animal was looking at me, and I was looking at it, and I was, oh my. And so I made I walked around it, and it went in the other direction. So I think we were both okay. Like, okay, she's gone. We both fought.
You respected each other.
Exactly. And then, I was of course looking immediately, which kind of animal is it? And it was a wildebeest.
Okay.
So a wild beast.
Well, a wild beast, you don't know what it's going to do. So.
So that was that.
Nice. Okay. So, but no tigers or lions or I mean that's the only. I think that those are the only type of animals that can scare me. And snakes, by the way. Oh man, snakes! I hate.
Hyenas.
I'm so afraid for snakes.
You also have hyenas in African countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, snakes. I'm actually not so scared of snakes because I think when you walk, you have to be aware and look, and always look into your shoes before you put it on and things. But there was on one campsite there were some people, and they had a snake in the tent.
Oh no!
So that's why we're traveling with a roof tent on the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Higher ground. That sounds better. Hey, before getting into the question part later on, I wanted to make a little bit of promotion also, because you also wrote a book about with the title "Learn, Earn Bitcoin." Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Awesome. And you're a big advocate for financial sovereignty. I mean, why is it for everybody important to read this book?
Oh, it's especially important, I think, for beginners and even people who are maybe into Bitcoin but still have their Bitcoin on exchange. I think it's very important. It gives you the answers to the why of Bitcoin. So the history of Bitcoin, why was it invented? Why do we need it so much? What are the differences between Europe and other countries? How can it empower people? And what are the safest ways to use it also? Like, explaining the different forms of wallets, what the Lightning Network is, and these kinds of things. And I actually think I need to update it now because it's already 2 years, I think. And, so many things change in the space.
Yeah, that's the downside for such a great a technology, that it's evolving so very fast. So... you
absolutely,
have to.
But I think it helps. I mean, guidance for readers to gain confidence and minimizing risks and starting with small amounts, understanding the concept. And you also wrote, I've read several blog posts, articles where you also tested some Lightning wallets. And of course, things change. So I think that's good that you do that. And you also make educational content about... a lot of
yes, a lot.
technical stuff, making it easy.
Especially since I've launched Crack the Orange last year, which is a platform where we give away scholarships for aspiring Bitcoin educators and community builders from the Global South. But it is also a online course platform for regular people, so for anyone, also from Europe, of course, to learn the basics of Bitcoin and also to advance a little bit and know how to store your seed and what is a multi-sig, what options do you have, which hardware wallets can you use, and things like that.
Yeah, cool. And where can people buy the book, Anita? Where is it available?
The best is you can go to learnbitcoin.link, because there you will find all the links. Of course, you can buy it on Amazon, but also bookstores can order it if they know how. It's a little bit complicated. And the ebook is available on learnbitcoin.link also.
Okay,
I've seen it.
Cool. Okay, that's it.
Awesome.
Are you ready for the 21 minutes, Anita? Because we prepared a lot of questions about the Bitcoin for fairness, but it has to be in the 21 minutes. So if you're ready, we would like to enter that part.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Conecta el mundo.
Yeah, because the mission of Bitcoin for Fairness is to raise knowledge and understanding of Bitcoin in emerging countries. What was your main inspiration to even start this initiative?
Basically, it was from the beginning when I re-entered the Bitcoin space in 2017 with the finding that it really is a tool to empower all people. And especially those who are disempowered. So from then on, I always had this focus on human rights. And from my learnings from Andreas Antonopoulos especially, I realized that it's really much more important to educate people in the Global South about Bitcoin than here in Europe. Because in Austria, where I lived, I was experiencing always this, so why do I need it? You know, I mean, I have a bank account. My currency works decently enough, you know. I mean, not talking about inflation. So I felt the idea that Bitcoin is just a tool for speculation and an investment rather boring. And I realized that, I mean, I didn't realize that the world is not fair through Bitcoin. I realized that much early on. And I thought I could contribute a good part to better that, to change it. I mean, we all strive to change the world, to make it a little bit better. And I found also my ikigai in Bitcoin. I always was looking for what is really the topic that I want to, my mission in a way in life to do something good for the world also, and not only consume, you know.
Yeah. And you said you re-entered Bitcoin in 2017. Why was that?
It wasn't really re-entering, because in 2011, I already tweeted about it. But I think I read an article back then, and it was, of course, totally misinformed and didn't explain Bitcoin really. And I thought it's just another PayPal. And I thought, why do I need another PayPal? I was doing e-commerce at the time. I knew that payment providers are a real pain in the ass, and it was very expensive back in the days also to even have a payment provider. You know, there was no Stripe or things like that. And so I dismissed it. And in 2017, in April, I heard a talk about Bitcoin and open blockchains, especially from the perspective of social change. And there it made click. Yeah,
that was your ikigai. That was the moment that you thought, okay, now I have to do something with this. Cool. Yes. And you've worked in countries like Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Nigeria. What are some of the biggest challenges you face when promoting Bitcoin adoption in emerging markets? And how do you address the common misconceptions about Bitcoin that you encounter in these regions?
So the first question mostly that people ask me about Bitcoin is it not a scam? Because so many people have been scammed and are being scammed. by ripoffs, like people who say, this is Bitcoin, invest $50 today and in 3 weeks you get $200. And the sad thing is that people believe these stories because they don't know better. And they are so desperate to save money or to get to money that they very
but
often...
especially in Africa, right? That's what I've been told. Especially in Africa, there are people who've been scammed around cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I mean, just think about OneCoin. I think OneCoin is still going on somewhere, always in African countries, or WorldCoin. I mean, which is also a scam, and even worse because they also scan your eyes, and I mean, they basically take all your privacy away from you. And people are so needy for money that they take the $25 that they get for scanning their eyeballs because they need the $25. It's a lot of money for them. So scams are actually the most the biggest problem. But then also, technical problems, I mean, if you don't have power, you can't use Bitcoin in a way. But on the other hand, to be honest, I have seen so many people with smartphones. I really was surprised about that. And a challenge also is that data is very expensive. So for instance, in Zimbabwe, people do have WhatsApp bundles, for instance. So they only buy internet that they can use WhatsApp, or they have a Facebook bundle. Then you have Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. That's the reason why a lot of people believe that Facebook is the internet, because they can't access the World Wide Web, which is also a challenge because then they can't download apps. I mean, they can download it maybe from the Play Store, but I don't know if their data packages even work for that.
Yeah, and education, of course, is key also to prevent being scammed in those parts of the world. And how do you try to educate people about Bitcoin in regions with limited access to technology and the internet? Well, you talked a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't do that actually. So I start with those who already have access. Because the people who don't have access have really other problems. And also they don't have the time and the resources, because Bitcoin is still something where you have to learn a little bit. Yeah, it's getting better and better. And we want to reach a point where you don't need to know anything. You just use a Bitcoin wallet, or you use any other application, and Bitcoin is integrated. Yeah, we won't have Lightning Network podcasts or Bitcoin podcasts, hopefully in the future. It would be like a Euro podcast. Wow, well, there are investment podcasts, but so I don't go there. I go to the urban centers where people have education. They have a little bit of wealth so that they can, if they want, save a little bit. But it's still very different, because even like, for instance, in Zimbabwe, the middle class, doctors or teachers, they earn, if they work for the government, for the public services, they earn like $200 or $300 a month. And that in the high inflationary national currency. So even for those people, it's really difficult to save in Bitcoin. People need the money they receive. And so very often, they receive it and exchange it to local currency or to US dollars.
Yeah. And having local Bitcoin educators on the ground is very important, of course. And what's the best way to continue to educate people themselves and then later on others?
That's the reason why we started the Crack the Orange scholarships, because it's very important to be on the ground. So to show up, to explain things, to especially get into the problems that are really there on the ground, because we can't imagine the problems that people have in these countries. So it's so different from our lives. And people have to hustle every day. And from that perspective, when they come to a talk, it's very important, or to a workshop, to build trust. And from there on, I believe you need sustainable education in that sense that you have a person or a group of people where you can go to. I mean, it's the same in Europe with the meetups, you know. Meetups are great because you always have the possibility to meet someone who knows more about Bitcoin than you, and you can ask them, you can maybe exchange Bitcoin to fiat currencies and back. And that's why I think it's so important to have these local initiatives, the local Bitcoin meetup groups, who can share knowledge with each other, have their own WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups to stay in touch about the newest developments in their own region. And that is what we have been doing with Bitcoin for Fairness in Zambia and in Zimbabwe, and supporting other initiatives in other African countries. And Crack the Orange is basically leveling it up. So it's a level 2 education. So that the communities on the ground can grow by themselves. So the program is 12 months. So in that 12 months, they can always check in and ask new questions. And as we all know, Bitcoin and especially Lightning also is a very fast developing technology. So things change very often. And I think it's important that people have contacts to check back what's the best wallet at the moment, and like things like that.
Yeah, and you also highlighted how Bitcoin aligns with several articles of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. How do you approach educating people about the connection between Bitcoin and human rights, especially in regions where political repression is prevalent? Because I can imagine that is not only difficult, but might be dangerous too. I can remember that you also had a talk with someone. I think it was it from Zimbabwe, the guy who turns out to be connected to the government there. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, actually you have to do a lot of due diligence before you meet with people. Sometimes you don't, because someone is referring them to you and you know that person, and then you think, okay, you should be fine. But sometimes it's not. I mean, nothing happened so far, and I'm very happy about that. But to be honest, with all the content I'm doing in my legal name, Anita Posch, which was one of the biggest mistakes I've ever done. But in 2017, when I started, I didn't know that I'm going to have that focus. Maybe I would have done otherwise, but now it's like it is. And so I try to, when I'm in Zimbabwe, I'm having a low output, on Twitter. So I don't talk about Zimbabwean politics or money while I'm there.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little bit scared. I mean, I don't think that the police or the government will be so harsh on me like it is on their own people, because I'm not a Zimbabwean. Austria has a consulate there, so I think I could get help. But other than that, that's why I call it also a silent revolution, because I believe that a lot of people who are using Bitcoin in these regions are not telling it to a lot of people. So it's also the same, when you, for instance, in Zimbabwe, when you need US dollars or Zimbabwean dollar, or the SIG, how it's now called, then you also go to a money exchanger, and that's a trusted person. You don't advertise that somewhere. Yeah, you only say that name to someone that you trust, and the same it is with Bitcoin. How do I address that topic? Yeah, in a talk or in a public workshop, I usually don't really say, oh, your government is abusing human rights and things like that, because I think people know that themselves. I'm talking about their current problems that they have with money and how Bitcoin could solve those. And then a lot of people in these countries, they always realize immediately when you tell them it's uncensorable, it's not inflatable, it's immutable, and no one can take it away from you, because you don't need a bank account for that. You don't even need your identity card for that. And then they realize, oh, what? They can't take it away from us. And I often have the feeling they don't really believe that this can be true. And I think there's also still so much distrust Bitcoin as a technology, because it's the same in Europe. You can't feel it,
No, exactly.
That's right.
And it was the same also with the internet in African countries. You also got to say, a friend of mine in Zimbabwe told me, she said, the internet is the technology of the white man. And with Bitcoin, it's the same. So we don't trust. Building trust, and that's why it's so important that we have more and more African communities and initiatives.
Yeah, but do you think that Zimbabwe just introduced the Zimbabwe Gold, the ZIG? You already mentioned it, and in your talk you also displayed it. First, it had it's connected to gold, but they are still inflating it because they changed the currency basically. Is this? Do you think this helps eventually for the people to get interest in Bitcoin because they see that they are getting scammed by their own government? Is it something people talk about when you're there, or are they also cautious to talk about that?
Depends on the people. A lot of people talk about it with me, but then I know them already. And it's a sad story. I don't know why, because the people in Zimbabwe, they know what's happening. Everyone knows it. So I was talking with a guy in a shop, and he explained to me exactly what's going to happen after Christmas, after the holiday season. He said exactly, you will see in January the inflation, like the exchange rate, will go up again because the holidays are over and they start to inflate the country with Zimbabwean dollar again. And exactly that was happening. Yeah. And the sad thing is that there is almost no opposition. And of course, people are scared because there are abductions, opposition politicians are beaten to death, happens every year. Yeah. And so people are scared. And so there is no revolution or something happening because, the government has the military on its side, and it's a sad situation. And sometimes, to be honest, I'm a little bit frustrated because I also think, it's the best solution for the people there, but it's not that so many people are using it. Like in Nigeria, for instance, much more people are using it there.
Yeah, why is the difference, you think? Why is there a difference?
I think a little bit it's the history of and the not psychology, how people are. There are the Shona people, for instance, are very peaceful people, always have been, in comparison to South African tribes or people who are much more violent, interestingly. I don't know why that is, but this is an observation that a lot of people have made and also told me. And so I think that's one of the reasons. And another thing I believe is system justification. I think if you're in a very bad situation and you see no way out, then you are better off living with the same situation you already know than saying to yourself, "Oh, I'm in a desperate situation. I need to change something."
And
then
at the
you're
same
frustrated.
time, you know that change is not possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a very gloomy state to be in. Yeah,
it's horrible. And people you can feel it really. The people in Zimbabwe, they are depressed. It's it's very
sad.
Desperate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Hey, and for people that used it and perhaps have experienced a scam or something, what's the most effective way to help to rebuild trust among people who have been scammed, or isn't it possible by being a foreign person?
Oh, that being a foreign person was never a problem, interestingly enough.
Okay.
Or let's say sadly, because I was, for instance, when I was in Zambia, we have a community member there. He's a young, yes, of course, black guy. He has a university exam. He did university and things like that. And he said to me, people here, we did a workshop together for journalists, and he was also talking. And he said to me afterwards, people believe you as a white woman more than me as a black guy here. And this is also very sad, actually.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I never had any problems. And building trust is a long and tedious process. I can remember also in Zambia, my friend there, Ndesa, our local community coordinator, because Bitcoin for Fairness has an independent branch there now. Mm-hmm. And he's the initiator, basically. And I went with him to a friend of his, and Ndesa said to me, please talk to him about Bitcoin, because he doesn't trust it anymore. He was scammed once. Yeah. And then I showed him the wallet, and we installed one together, and I sent him a little bit of Bitcoin. And then he was really relieved. He said to me, I lost that money, but I was interested in it. And I still believed it's legit, but I didn't know how. And now that you showed me, I trust again, and thank you for that. So you can turn like the beliefs, or you can turn it around. You can make people trust
one at
again.
a time.
Hey, talking
Very
about these
hands-on.
wallets, and give it a little bit of a lightning touch in the show. Mm-hmm. In the beginning of this year, you tested various self-custody lightning wallets like Blake's and Green and Mutiny, Phoenix Shoes. Under poor internet conditions, which wallet performed the best, and what criteria did you use to evaluate their performance?
Yeah, so the basic criteria was, does it work or not? Because, for instance, with Blixt and SUS, they didn't synchronize. So the internet, I did it with mobile internet on the countryside, where you only have download like 4 megabits per second and upload only 0.5. Oh, I hear it ticking.
Just take your time.
Fun fact. One fun fact. So the best wallets were Mutiny and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the fun fact is that Phoenix was faster than Wallet of Satoshi.
Okay.
So I did some payment tests, and also the prices for channel openings were interesting, of course. And I didn't test Breeze, for instance, because I tested it the year before, and the synchronizing also didn't work. But I'm curious for next year.
Yeah. Cool. And right in time.
And for everybody interested, because I've read the article, and you also have the link there to a sheet where you can see all the numbers, because that's the most interesting part.
But of course, we need to add that I've done it in January. Yeah. And of course, the wallets have upgrades. It did get upgrades since then. So
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're evolving too. Yeah. Cool.
So testing Breeze, maybe it works now perfectly.
Yeah, we'll see next year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for answering these questions. We had a lot more, but maybe some.
I saw them. Yes.
Conecta el mundo.
Yeah, we have one question left for you, Anita.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the nice thing is you may choose yourself. We prepared a question from Bufo, and he works for Amboss.space. From Fernando Motolese, he works for Bitcoin Beach Brazil and from Bitcoinize. Or from Tony Klaus, and he's from Stable Channels.
The middle one.
Motolese, Fernando Motolese, yeah.
Motolese, here he comes.
Hello, I am Fernando from Bitcoin Beach Brazil, and I would like to ask, do you think ordinals and descriptions are a bug or a feature on the mainnet?
It's a difficult one, Anita.
I'd say they are neither, but they are silly.
They're silly.
I would not want them. I don't want them, but they, Bitcoin is for anyone and for anything that works on Bitcoin. It's a pity that it's possible to do it. But on the other hand, it shows, or it showed us the problem of rising fees again, we will have rising on-chain fees anyhow. And so I think it's better now to prepare for higher fees than when it's then too late and the fees are all the time as high as that. And but besides that, I think the craze is already gone again, right? I mean, fees are down.
No, that's right. Yeah, it is.
So I hope it stays that way again. Yeah.
And we need high fees for eventually to keep the miners in business. So
yes, but I would like to see more transactions.
Yeah.
Really,
okay, so
financial transactions.
Maybe we can put it this way: it's a feature within the code now, and it's a bug for you personally. Maybe I can put it that way. I mean, for me, it's the same, right? I mean, Bitcoin is for everyone, and as long as people build stuff and they're playing within the rules. Yeah, I mean, it's who am I to say that?
But the market will show.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the market decides.
Because when we start saying this should be censored, then we can throw Bitcoin away, because that's the whole idea of Bitcoin. Yeah,
exactly. It's a slippery slope. Yeah. I agree with you. Thanks.
Connetti il mondo.
Okay, Anita, thanks for the nice talk.
Thanks.
And all the work you do, by the way, for the developing countries and all the communities there. I really love it. I love to follow your work. So thanks for that. Where can people follow you, Anita? You already, maybe you can mention another time the link to your book and also the link to the different projects you're working on.
Yes, thank you very much. So my book is at learnbitcoin.link. And then every week on Saturday, there's a free newsletter with new educational material and information. You can subscribe to at anita.link/news. And then there's Crack the Orange, which is good for anyone who wants to learn more about Bitcoin. And if you are inclined to donate to a scholarship or to more scholarships for people from the African continent, then please get in contact with me. We have a contact form on the site.
All right, great. And to everybody else, thanks for listening in. And of course, thanks to everyone helping to connect the world with us. So if you like our content, then please support us in our mission. Or of course, Anita Posch also. Visit our website, connecttheworld.live, where you can also make a donation and subscribe, like, and share our content on your favorite platform. So remember, we need you to complete our mission, connect the world. So keep those nodes running and sets flowing, and see you all next week on the same Lightning channel.
Auf Wiedersehen,
Tot ziens, Anita.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.